Hey everyone, today I got to vent and rant about things like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where there's more concerning info surrounding that game, and Dragon Age, and there's a really weird situation going on there where the media is downright lying and I have to expose them. I want to also talk about the failure of current gaming journalism and how these shows are trying to steal scoops, gaslight the community, and spit on fans. But let's first start with the Kingdom Come nonsense. So, I previously reported in my last video that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 had a very weird agenda going on around it, and then I showed evidence debunking some of the claims against it. Since then, however, more has come out. This is from Fandom Pulse. Warhorse Studios bans homophobia and transphobia in new code of conduct for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Steam forum. So this new code of conduct that was posted here by one of their community managers, it reads as follows. We are grateful for the vibrant and passionate discussions that take place here. Your love for this game and its immersive world has forged a unique and thriving community. To ensure that our forums remain a welcoming place for all, we are introducing a new set of community rules designed to maintain smooth moderation and foster meaningful, respectful discussions. We get it, this is a PEGI 18 game and colorful language is part of the vibe. Occasional swearing is fine, but keep it reasonable. Excessive profanity, bigotry, sexism, racism, hate speech, sexual harassment, or threats will not be tolerated. Beyond this, they then detail exactly what can get you banned, ranging from being racist, sexist, homophobic, or transphobic, mocking things like ableism, discriminating against someone's age, mocking religion despite the game being overtly religious by default, which is weird. Colorism and body shaming as well are detailed as reasons too. Pretty much, while this game is rated M for mature, you pretty much can't speak about anything that would be considered, well, M for mature, I guess. They also state specifically that anyone advocating for white supremacy will be banned as well, while keeping any other form of insert color here supremacy vague somewhat, but still considered a ban, but it's very unclear as to how exactly they want to implement this. People are upset about this because as soon as the information came out regarding the Saudi Arabia ban and the supposed forced gay agenda in the game, that suddenly, coincidentally, a new code of conduct emerges out of nowhere for free speech and regulations within the forums for Kingdom Come. This, of course, has sparked controversy, and people are claiming that Warhorse and by proxy PLAION, which by the way are the company that handles all of Warhorse's community management and they own them, so to repeat myself here so everyone understands this, Warhorse Studios, the developers of Kingdom Come, are not in charge of their own public relations, nor their forums technically. So a different company does this. So why do they do this, you may be asking? Could it be that they don't have the proper team internally to handle the task of handling their own community? Could also be that anyone a part of PLAION has something in their contract that means that their communities are all shepherded and controlled by the same overseeing group, but anyways, we already know that the supposed Saudi ban is indeed true, it seems. But now there's even more damage control. One official moderator for Warhorse's community did reply to someone at some point, which is screenshotted here stating, "Be addressed, we'll do it soon in an orderly manner. The accusations hit us by surprise. You have nothing to worry. Please have patience for an official answer." So people waited for a response, and now we got one. So Daniel Vavra, the director of Kingdom Come 1 and 2, has come out publicly with his own statement via Twitter, and here's what he said. "The game is exactly what I wanted it to be. No one has tried to influence me as an artist in any way, and anyone who knows me knows I wouldn't let them anyway. Every character in the game has a very clear reason to be where they are, which you'll understand when you play the game. Our goal was, and still is, to show life in medieval Bohemia as it easily could have happened and to tell an interesting story. At the same time, it is a role-playing game, so it is purely up to the player what decisions they make, and for all the decisions they make, they are responsible for the consequences that correspond to the morals and social norms of the time. I don't want to spoil the plot, the important events, and the roles of some of the characters for anyone, so you'll have to see for yourself by playing the game, and then I strongly believe you'll agree with me." While it is a response for sure, it doesn't necessarily clear up anything unfortunately either regarding the situation around Kingdom Come 2. The way that I perceived it was that Daniel Vavra is confirming, but not directly anyway, which is frustrating that yes, Henry can indeed be gay or bi in this next game. and that yes, the supposed banned gay scenes that caused the game to be banned in Saudi Arabia are still indeed in the game and are not being removed. And look, I'm all for pushing back against censorship, so I don't think any scene should be removed either from any game. Whether it's a gay scene or whatever else, the integrity of the product and story should not be changed to appeal to any one country. So I will say at least that it's good to see that the game has not been censored, so to speak. However, Daniel Vavra's words here are still nebulous, and a lot of people in the comments are asking why Warhorse cannot just outright state very clearly that yes, Henry can be gay now all of a sudden, even though he was never allowed to be like that in the first game. In case you didn't see my other exhaustingly long video on Kingdom Come that I made already, I stated how Henry only has 2 romance options in the first game, Teresa and Stephanie, both obviously women. But there were no male options, of course. Now it seems that Warhorse is changing this for the sequel for sure. And it leaves me conflicted because Henry, to me, is not necessarily a fully customizable protagonist in the same way as other games, and I hate to compare it, but I will here. Like Rook, for example, in Dragon Age Veilguard, that is a fully customizable protagonist. Henry, however, to me is like Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher in a sense. These are predetermined characters, both in backstory, lore, and obviously physical appearance. Like, you can't make Geralt or Henry black or a woman suddenly, I mean without mods anyways. But the point still stands that Henry is not the conventional RPG hero archetype is what I'm trying to say. If Kingdom Come featured a fully customizable protagonist down to your sex, height, weight, all of the things you usually see in, say, Dragon Age, Skyrim, and then some, then being able to choose who you romance, yeah, that makes more sense. Because the character themselves are malleable in every way and can theoretically be anything that the player chooses. But like I said in Kingdom Come's choice, it's like The Witcher. It's as if CD Projekt Red would say that Geralt is straight and then suddenly a new game is made with him, and now he can bed guys. And no, that's not Geralt of Rivia. You're changing a fundamental aspect of his character to appease certain demographics. And I feel the same sort of way with Henry. I think it's a bizarre choice that was likely strong-armed into the game despite what Daniel Vavra is saying here. Because we know this guy is someone who allegedly, according to him, believes in conservative values. I mean, he even has a photo of himself publicly with a shirt claiming that he's based, white, able-bodied, and all of that. Obviously as a troll, but you get what I mean. Personally for me, Henry being able to be gay, it's not going to make me want to boycott the game, as I stated already in other videos. I will be reviewing this game and combing through it like I did with Veilguard, regardless of whatever is in the game. And like I did with Veilguard, I was able to then discover tons of pro-trans ideology and anti-white agendas by playing the game myself. Now, I'm not anticipating a similar situation with Kingdom Come, but I will look everywhere in-game regardless to see what I can find. And if I find nothing and instead find lots of great stuff instead, yeah, I'll report back to you guys when I finally play it. But this does feel very weird that Warhorse and their director will not 100% confirm the issues that players are having with the story that's surrounding this game. The only reason why you would skirt the questions is because the answer will upset people. There's really no other reason. If these claims weren't true, it would be a very simple, hey, these are not true, and that's all it would be. But it's clear that they made Henry now bi or gay if you want, although I doubt many will use those options regardless for obvious reasons. However, the part of this that I find more concerning is how PLAION and Warhorse by proxy are censoring people being able to talk about these things publicly in their forums. I find that very weird and not good at all in my opinion. Grums, however, was able to detail a timeline, so to speak, so that we can all understand exactly how this may have come to pass with the forced player censorship and all of that. So let's go down the list now. In 2018, Kingdom Come Deliverance is released, published by Deep Silver, which was a division of Koch Media at the time. Later in that same year, Embracer Group acquires Koch Media for 121 million euros. Then Koch Media, which was the parent company of Deep Silver, which had published Kingdom Come Deliverance, then a year later after the first game comes out. Warhorse Studios, the developer of Kingdom Come Deliverance, is acquired by THQ Nordic for around 33.2 million euros on a cash and debt-free basis. At this point, THQ Nordic is already a part of Embracer Group, having been acquired by Embracer in 2016 when it was still named Nordic Games. In 2020, Koch Media rebrands to PLAION. This rebranding occurred under Embracer Group's umbrella, making PLAION the new name for what was Koch Media, including all its subsidiaries like Deep Silver. Now we fast forward to 2024, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is announced with PLAION encompassing Deep Silver listed as the publisher. This reflects the organizational change where Deep Silver is now a label under PLAION, which now leads us to right now in 2025 with Kingdom Come 2 coming out with PLAION as the publisher, which was originally called Koch or Koch Media, however you say it. And then as the key points state, the rebranding was to just place everything under a new name, but it all stayed the same regardless. So now you all know the timeline as well in an easy to understand manner. Warhorse was bought and are now owned, and their community stuff is controlled and distributed by PLAION, which owns them. The PLAION community manager here is named Marion, don't harass her by the way, and she was the CM that posted the new code of conduct that suspiciously went live around the same time this entire controversy went down, and they are now closing down threads and censoring people who speak out against what people are calling a forced gay agenda here in Kingdom Come 2. As you can see from this post showing their Steam forums, people are claiming that Kingdom Come 2 is now woke. The code of conduct is a huge red flag, the ban in Saudi Arabia is not being addressed, people being called bigots, and even confused posts asking if all of this is real or not because again, things are being kept gray clearly on purpose. But that's where we are right now with Kingdom Come. They are absolutely censoring topics, there's no point in denying this. They are doing this to their players, and the fact that the director still refuses to just admit things is very weird and concerning to me. I asked in my previous video, I'll ask again, does the change to allow Henry be gay or bi affect the experience for you? Remember, however, that you can of course ignore this the same way you can pretty much do in any other game if you want to. I would say if the choice isn't forced onto you, it's a mostly non-problem for me personally. But I know for many, the simple inclusion of it spells a bigger problem for them because it means the devs and studio are receptive and open to more things like it in the future. It is a peculiar situation, but I figured that I'd do a follow-up since a lot of this came out quite literally right after I posted my other video about it. Like, thanks internet, that always seems to happen, doesn't it? But it seems every day what my source told me back in October keeps coming true. That companies will indeed be promoting themselves as anti-LGBT or pro-conservative, but deep down, they aren't really changing anything about their games and will simply use deceptive tactics to trick people into buying their games anyways. Which is not good for customer-publisher relations, as it just means these companies are favoring a short-term gain over long-term losses and rejection in the future. Not to mention, people can and will refund your game if they find out that you're lying to them. But to see Warhorse of all places kind of doing this is really concerning. I'll hold out hope as more info comes out, but I did want to relay this to everyone anyway. I'll still be reviewing it regardless. They could announce that Henry can be trans, and I'll still review the game because I need to get to the bottom of this either way for the players out there. But if it means that I gotta spend my money and time so you don't have to in some of these games, so be it. Now let's move on to this Dragon Age stuff. So in case you didn't know, friends of the channel Smash JT and Grums worked together to release a joint post and video about Dragon Age Veilguard's director Corinne Bush leaving BioWare. Here's the video thumbnail on screen here of Smash JT's video about it, where he detailed how he was told by his contact at BioWare that Corinne Bush, the director of Veilguard, was confirmed to be leaving BioWare effective immediately. According to Smash and Grums, not only is Corinne Bush leaving BioWare, but the other rumor they heard was that BioWare would likely be closed down in February 2025. Although as of right now we don't know yet because, well, it's January, obviously when I'm posting this video. If this were to happen, it would lead to of course Mass Effect's sequel not really getting made, but at this point, having played Veilguard to completion, and tirelessly covering it over an extended period of time for the channel, I don't know if I would even consider this BioWare to even be the BioWare I loved before anyway. After the nuclear reception to Veilguard, which was a bad game that ruined Dragon Age, and I can only hope one day another studio gets their hands on the IP, because it's very clear to me that current BioWare is unfit to make a worthy successor to Inquisition. Yeah, I'm worried about Mass Effect 2, guys. I love these series. I'm a treasure trove of knowledge for both franchises. I wear my N7 hoodie to walk my dogs like every single day pretty much. I am a die-hard OG BioWare fan, but what has been going on with the studio for years has proven to all of us that this new BioWare is the ship of Theseus all over again. It's only BioWare in name at this point, and all the people who actually made BioWare special have mostly left, leaving behind woke activists who kinda just ruin everything they touch. Here's what Corinne Bush, the now former director of Veilguard, had to say in the email that Smash and Grumps found, and then after this, I want to get into why I really want to cover this topic. Corinne would say, "Hey y'all, hard to believe I'm writing these words, but here it goes, it's time for me to say goodbye. Today is my last day at BioWare and EA. After so much contemplation, I've decided to pursue a new challenge and a new project, doing what I love most, making RPGs. It wasn't an easy decision, as I mean it when I say I love BioWare, the Dragon Age team, and what we've all accomplished together. My time with all of you has been the highlight of my career. I want to offer my personal thanks to each of you for your trust, your companionship, and for the many ways in which you've inspired me and helped me grow. I'll be eagerly waiting to see what great experiences you create next. As a fan, I'll be rooting for you. If I can leave you with any advice, it is this: we all know making games is hard, it's part of why we do it. But making games is also about the people and the reliance we have on one another, so take the time to celebrate the wins and lift each other up. The challenge and the work will always be there, but the moments we have with each other are precious and few. Let's stay in touch." As always, these activists are failing upwards, and it kinda sickens me to see, cause this email reads in a few ways. For one, it confirms that Corinne Bush is not just leaving the industry altogether. Oh no, they are failing upwards by leaving BioWare to now go work on another game at another studio. As for what that game is or which studio, we don't know yet, but I guarantee you that once it's discovered, that game or studio will have the taint and stink of Veilguard's monumental failure all over it. And the fact that Corinne Bush tries to paint Veilguard as a win, which by the way missed its sales target by around 85%, FYI, Veilguard was projected internally to sell around 10 million units by the end of 2024, but only managed to hit 1.5 million in total. Yeah, this is a massive failure for a game that was in development hell for almost 10 years. I hate Veilguard. I honestly can't believe that the game exists, and the more I think about it, the worse my opinion gets about it too. If you've never played it, I implore you to just never do so. It's a baby's first RPG with meaningless decisions until the end of the game, and it's full of enough woke propaganda to make you projectile vomit at the best of times. I really didn't enjoy my time with the game, and I've been on a JRPG roll after beating Veilguard, mostly to wash the taste of its nonsense out of my sinuses. But seeing Corinne fail upwards is kinda ridiculous. I have no faith what they make next will be just as bad or anything else. After all, the inclusion of trans surgery scars are in only 2 games as far as we know, The Sims and Veilguard, and who directed both games? Yeah, this Corinne Bush, of course. Pretty easy pattern recognition there, I know, but maybe they'll try to go 3 for 3 with the next one they make. But this wasn't the reason why I wanted to put this in the video. The real reason was because of what happened after Smash and Grumps posted this info as an exclusive on their ends. So the Access Media caught wind of this story suspiciously following Smash and Grumps' joint attack. Yet when websites like Insider Gaming, Eurogamer, and more spoke on Corinne Bush leaving, you know what they did? Well, they didn't credit Smash nor Grumps for their findings. I spoke to Grumps. He had the email of Corinne Bush leaving and all of this on January 12th. As I'm writing this, it's January 17th, and this video will come out on January 18th. So Grumps knew about this for almost a week prior to the information getting released, and you're telling me that the moment that Grumps and Smash revealed this to the world, only after that do these websites suddenly report on this as fact. And here's the other thing, the person they're crediting as the source of this scoop is Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb, another struggling website many people don't watch or listen to these days. As Jeff Grubb said via Twitter, Corinne Bush, director of Dragon Age, really is leaving BioWare. But I don't think EA is closing BioWare Edmonton, was told there is nothing solid about that part of the rumor. Even the way he words this so-called scoop, that he was told there was nothing solid about the closure of BioWare as a rumor? Tell me this. Why would it be a rumor if Jeff Grubb was the supposed initial source for this claim? Rumors for things you haven't confirmed exist yet wouldn't be called rumors unless the rumor existed prior to you stating the fact in the first place. You see, even Jeff Grubb can't keep his own supposed story scoop straight. And this is the real reason why I wanted to put this in the video. The Access Media, the people who have groveled at the feet of woke for years now, are clearly terrified of YouTubers replacing them, even though it's going to replace them inevitably anyways. These shills continue to refuse to accept the hard work or existence of YouTubers because they don't see us as legitimate news sources like themselves. It's the Assassin's Creed stuff all over again. You remember how websites were reporting that Tencent wants to buy Ubisoft up? And then they claimed that they had insider sources. Yeah, well, where did that story first start? Oh, right. That was me. I reported on that before even Insider Gaming did, and yet if you were to ask people who broke the news of Tencent wanting to buy Ubisoft, they won't say me, they'll say some other website did it first. They're trying to delegitimize YouTubers because they think if you don't have some fancy degree in journalism and a mountain of debt to go with it, that you're not a real journalist, yet I do their job better than they ever could, and I never had to even step foot in a classroom to learn what they do. You want to know why? Journalism, for the most part, in my opinion, is just being able to report things with common sense at the forefront. It's not that hard to do, and they hate me, Smash, Grums, etc. for beating them at their own game. Look, I'm not saying that anyone can do it 100%, but if I had to compare my job as a YouTuber to, say, when I moved heavy machinery or did stuff in the blistering cold, yeah, YouTube isn't exactly the most physically demanding job. Mentally, yeah, I guess so, but even then, this stuff for me anyways, it kind of just comes naturally. But seeing them cite Jeff Grubb as the source, it sickens me. They really hate that we exist, man. Like, look at how these websites are reporting this. Whispers of her exit began circulating online last night, and were first confirmed by journalist Jeff Grubb. Eurogamer can also confirm that Bush is leaving BioWare. Eurogamer understands BioWare itself is otherwise unaffected by any other changes, contrary to rumor. Whispers, really? Where were those whispers from, modern gaming journalist website number 500? Those whispers that you speak of, they had sources, specifically a whole-ass video that Smash JT made and a long post by Grums. That's not whispers, you morons. You just don't want to give credit to the people who actually broke the story. Like the fact that they say that the whispers were confirmed by Jeff Grubb, so you admit that he wasn't the source for the story then yourselves. Like, you guys can't be serious, dude. How are you people supposedly real journalists, but you keep lying like this so easily? Here's the website VG247.com and how they reported the Corinne Bush leaving BioWare story. This is according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, whose confirmation of Bush leaving has since been corroborated by Eurogamer. Oh my god, dude, VG247 again with the complete misdirection. Rumors of Bush's departure had been coupled with speculation about the closure of BioWare's Edmonton studio. Literally word for word the exact scoops that Smash and Grums had on Dragon Age before they did. Yet they still refuse to admit where those rumors came from. You guys can't be serious. And then you expect me to believe that you journalists, when it comes to anything, you can't even cite your sources because you're all too butthurt to admit that two guys that aren't woke activists beat you to the punch and out-journalist all of you. And that's what I hate, man. Corinne leaving, whatever, good riddance, that idiot ruined Dragon Age. But I can't believe how blatant and far these websites and journalists will go trying to act like YouTubers don't exist because we actually criticize and ask the hard questions out here. And if you ever needed to know just how this club works, they're all in it, man. What's the likelihood that Giant Bomb, Eurogamer, VG247, IGN, Insider Gaming, and more all suspiciously report that Corinne, who cares, is leaving BioWare and the supposed closure of the studio is happening? Not before, by the way, but only after Smash and Grums reveal that information to everyone, yet they are not credited at all. Very weird, but very obviously done on purpose, and they know this. It shouldn't surprise me, however, since in that one now memed video of Alyssa Mercanti, who used to work at Kotaku but got fired for anti-Semitism, and that's real by the way, who's in that video with her? Well, of course it's Jeff Grubb. Like I said, one big club full of woke activists, and we're not invited, and no thanks, I'm good anyways. But it's very weird to see, but pathetic nonetheless, the fact that these people who call themselves journalists and always claim you have to cite your sources when it comes to your stories, suddenly have all their codes and ethics leave their bodies the moment the people who break the stories don't align with them politically. Funny how that works, right? It's as if they don't see people who aren't woke as people but beneath them or something. This is another facet of the rot that I continually fight against. So I hope more people see this video so they can understand just how disingenuous the Access media really is. But it doesn't even end there, dude. Even Thomas Mahler, the CEO of Moon Studios and director of Ori and No Rest for the Wicked, chimed in on this too in a way without being too on the nose with it, where he said, "If you work in the games industry in any capacity and you can admit to yourself that you hate gamers, please know two things. One, there are idiots in every group, and two, carefully read one again." He's saying that there's idiots in every group. Yes, that means games journalists too, and he's calling them out, but in a clever way that will likely go right over their heads. Hating the people you are employed to cater to is a recipe for disaster. It's like spitting on customers when they ask you for a cooked meal in a restaurant. Why are you even in this place if you're like this in the first place? If you hate players so much, then go do something else with your time. Why waste it like this? Thomas Mahler also said this a few days back regarding how fans were attacking CD Projekt Red after discovering so many of their devs have left in recent years. Thomas said, Witcher 3 came out 10 years ago and Witcher 4 isn't made by the same people that made Witcher 3, so I think we have to be careful regarding optimism. People expect Bethesda to make the next Skyrim, but game development is all about the people behind the scenes. That team who made Skyrim what it was doesn't exist anymore. Brand means nothing, talented teams are everything. And he's right. I mean, again, go look at Dragon Age Origins or Inquisition and now go compare it to Veilguard. It feels like it was made by different people entirely, and it was. The tone is completely different. They even used that bisexual purple color scheme that so many games have been using too, and once you notice that, you cannot unnotice it, by the way. These games are being ruined by people who were skirting on the laurels of better devs than them, and I think in order to ensure this video isn't too long, this is probably enough for right now. So what do you think about all of this? Kingdom Come has positioned itself to becoming an unlikely target of Gamergate 2, when it could have so easily been the crown jewel of the year, and the media, like always, lies, contorts, and publishes their truths to belittle and demean the hard work of YouTubers. And now BioWare might close down, and should it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, subscribe, have a wicked day, thanks to my patrons and members, and I'll see you guys later.